Hello drummers and soon-to-be drummers. I've got a great video here for you today. Welcome to Tim Connolly Drums. Today's video is on a very important topic that a lot of people struggle with, and I'd like to try and help as many people as I can with putting a drum set together. There's so many parts to a drum kit, it can be very difficult and confusing. I can remember one of my drum students sending me a picture saying, what the heck do I do with this? And the picture was drums and cymbals and hardware and parts and everything all over the floor. And Dad's doing one of these, like, what do I do, you know? So I tried to help them out as much as I can with a Zoom call, as I couldn't go to their home because of this whole pandemic. So I thought, you know what? Why don't I do a video and then I can help hopefully thousands of people who are struggling to try and put the kits together. Now, obviously, you know, the kid gets a drum kit. It's usually the dad or the mom that put it together, or maybe an older brother or something, unless they know somebody that plays drums, which isn't very common, to be totally honest. There's not that many drummers in the world. There needs to be more. So anyways, this video is going to cover all aspects of putting a drum kit together. And I've been putting together and taking apart drums for almost 40 years, probably longer. Actually, probably longer, because I've been playing drums for 50 years. So 50 years I've been putting drums together and taking them apart. So I know a thing or two about that. Okay, so join me now. We're gonna take this drum kit apart right behind me. Let me just let you see this. This is the completed version. Now this is what you call a 6-piece drum kit. Had to count it there for a second. So 6 pieces is referring specifically to the drums themselves, not so much the cymbals and the hardware. Okay, so these are the cymbals, drums. The stands that come with them is the hardware. Okay, so we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 floor tom on the back, 6 snare drum. So this is a 6-piece kit with the cymbals. The cymbals are called, this is the hi-hat, this is a crash cymbal. I'm not going to get into specifics of what they are. I'm just going to let you know the basics so that you can get the basics. A hi-hat, crash, this is called a splash. It's a secondary crash. This is another splash, it's just smaller than this one. This is a ride cymbal, and this is called a Chinese cymbal, and they all sound differently. So that's the part of the reason why you have so many different cymbals in a kit. They all sound differently, they all sound different for different styles of music, and they add much color to your drums. So that is the drum kit. I'm going to take it down, and then we're going to put it all back together. Okay, so I've taken the drums out of the area, as you can see, and we're starting just with the carpet. It's roughly 8 by 6, the carpet that I'm using down here. And you want to make sure you got a carpet that doesn't slide around on you. This one here is a little bit, you know, I don't know what you call this, not a shag, but kind of shag-ish. The best ones, this isn't ideal, but it's okay. The drums aren't going to move or anything on here, but you definitely want a carpet that's going to accommodate the size of your drum kit. That's vitally important, as well as something that's not going to slide. This carpet does not move at all on the floor. You always want to put your drums on a carpet. So if I show you here, here's the bass drum. This is the rubber I'm talking about. Here's the spike. You can turn this to eliminate the spike, but I don't recommend that. The spikes are good because they're going to lock you in to where you want to be, okay? So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take this bass drum here and we're going to position. So we want to position this. Now you got to keep in mind, here's the bass drum, here's the drum stool. The drum stool actually needs to, before you do anything, you need to put the stool here and figure out where you want to sit, because you don't want to be too close to what's behind you. Okay, so you want to make sure that you're comfortable, you're not too close, and that You pretend like you've got your drum kit set up. You sit here and you sort of mentally map out where the bass drum pedal is going to go, where your hi-hat stand is going to go. Okay? So you're mentally mapping this out. And then once you've decided, oh, okay, I'm fairly comfortable, you might want to adjust your bass drum a little bit up so you're not right up against that wall and your stool is actually on the carpet. So once you get that bass drum in, I'm just going to show you about the legs first. So you can change the height of where you want it. It's recommended that you always angle the bass drum slightly downward. So this is going to be a little bit higher than back here. Back here is going to be lower and it's going to be higher at the front. What we have here is the bass drum pedal, and I'm just going to show you how this bass drum pedal goes onto the bass drum. Now this is not a normal bass drum in the sense that it's small. It's only an 18-inch. So as a result, I have this on it, which is a bass drum lifter. Normally the bass drum just fits right on this little black pad right there. You just got to make sure that that's loose enough and it slides right on like that. Now as you can see, this is why you need the lifter. If I can show you the angle here the drums are on, you can't play like that. So for this drum kit, for a regular drum kit, 22-inch, 20-inch bass, you don't really need a lifter. For this 18-inch bass and a 16-inch bass on my other kit, you need these lifters. So they just slide in like that. You just gently screw them in like that, and then this sits down here. Okay, now one thing that you have to do is make sure this side or this side is not higher than the other. You don't want an unbalanced pedal. Now sometimes if you don't put the spikes at the right height on the legs, it can be unbalanced. But in this particular case, I know that the front is correct. So I'm just going to move it over, feel it. Still needs to go over a tiny bit more. All right, back just a tiny bit, and there we go. It's perfect now. I can feel that this is even. And then when it hits the bass drum, hitting in the center, it's nice and even. You're going to get a good sound. And the pedal is nice and secure. Okay? Now, on the actual bass drum pedal, I'm just going to show you something quick. Take this off again. There's adjustments that can be made. You loosen this, you loosen that, you can pull the spring down, retighten it, or you can loosen the spring to, depending on how much spring you want to get on your pedal, okay? So on this particular one, I have it with a, like a medium kind of a spring, I guess, tension-wise. Oh, medium. I don't like it too loose. I don't like it too tight. Put it back on there. Check my, there we go, perfect. And there we go, the bass drum is set up. Excellent. Okay, now with the spurs, like I said, they're adjustable here, in and out. You loosen this off, and that's the starting position. That's where it's going to come from. So it just slides down. Most of them have a locking system. So you don't have to do anything. You just push it all the way and tighten it. It has a locking system and it just locks into place, and then you know exactly where to put your spur. And this is the adjustable part. You use a drum key. They're a very important tool. I'll come up to the camera and show you this. This is a drum key. Every drummer needs one. You're lost without this. I've forgotten this at a few gigs, and what a nightmare. So with your drum key, but you can adjust your drum key. Make sure your drum kit is somewhat centered on your carpet, and make sure that it's sitting and not moving. You want to make sure that it's nice and secure. Okay? If you have to adjust your legs, like I said, use this, and that you can adjust the height of your bass drum that way. Okay, now this here is the Yamaha Yes system. It's a mount. Now this does not come with it, the cymbal, this arm. This is just something I have extra. The actual mount looks like this. And of course, this is where your toms are going to go. Very adjustable. That's why I love Yamaha drums. I'm not endorsed by Yamaha. They haven't paid me to say anything about their drums. I'm just saying that as a drummer that's played many, many, many drum kits. I love Yamaha the best. This kit, by the way, is a Yamaha Stage Custom Bop with an 18-inch bass. I also have a couple of other Yamaha kits, Recording Custom. And I have another bass drum for this, a 22-inch, which is, you know, like the rock size. Mind you, this 18-inch bass drum, I've used it on many, many rock gigs. As long as it's mic'd up and tuned properly, sounds amazing. Okay, so you put your, down here, you put this in like this, slides in, your mounting system, tighten it up, and we're going to put our first tom on, which is a 10-inch. And it slides in here. Now some guys, I don't, because I just know where to put them. Some guys map out on the little arms with a piece of tape or mark it off with a black marker, non-erasable, where the tom sits. Now I just know, you know, I just know where mine likes to sit. So we put that on there like that. Then we take this 12-inch tom, and we do the exact same thing over here. And once again, I like to put this one a little lower than the other drums, so it's a little bit further down the peg so that I can get more fluidity. The next thing I do is the floor tom. Now the floor tom, let me just show you quickly. These legs slide. They slide out. They slide in. You're gonna want to take them out each time. They also have these spikes on them. So again, carpet, don't put them on the floor. The drums will slide, trust me. They will slide like crazy if you do not put them on a carpet. The pegs dig in, or the spikes dig in, and the drums will not move. So this is the floor tom. You put your floor tom over here. Okay. I like to raise up my floor tom on these two legs a little bit higher, and then this one. This tom leg, as you can see, is lower than these legs. So I like it slightly angled down. Now that's my personal taste. You can have them flat, you can have them any way you want, but that's my personal taste. And then once you get that, you're going to fine tune it at the end. The snare, this is not the snare that comes with the kit. This is actually a 45th anniversary DW snare drum. This thing is killer. It's ridiculous. Beautiful, beautiful drum. Okay, so we're going to put that in right around here, which is a nice spot. Let me just move my music stand out of the way. Now, I do have another tom. So I've got an 8-inch tom, which I'm going to slide right in here. Now I've got it mounted on this cymbal stand. So I'm just going to slide it in. Again, it's a little bit higher away or further away from the snare than these three. They descend in terms of distance they are from me. And the reason is just because they get bigger and bigger as they move. It makes perfect sense. Ergonomically, I like to be able to reach the drums without any effort at all in terms of stretching. You want to have the drums right nearby you easily. This is called a boom stand. And it's really easy to set up the actual stand. And then you have this that sits holding the cymbal in place. Then you have a cymbal felt. You put the cymbal on, you put the other felt on, and then you put the, in this case, a screw. Some are screws, some are just placements. It depends on which one you have and what kind you have. And then, of course, because it's a boom stand, you can adjust it however you want to adjust it. You can raise it up and down, and you can place it any way you want, okay? I'm going to do the same thing with this stand. Just put the cymbal on. It's sitting here waiting. Okay, this one here also ready to go. Just going to lower it a tiny bit. Okay, so now I'm placing the cymbals for easy access to them. So once again, you're on your drum kit and you want to have easy access to them. Easy. Then I'm going to put my ride cymbal in. They're all the same in terms of the way that they go on top of the stand, the way the cymbal sits on the stand. That doesn't change. This is my Chinese, which I like to place beside the ride. I love coming around the kit and finishing off with an awesome hit on the China cymbal. It's just something that I enjoy. Everybody likes different cymbals. And I have this extra little cymbal here that I love. I love splash cymbals. And it comes with this connector arm, which you just connect to the cymbal stand itself. Now, as you can see, you can adjust your splash however you want it. You can adjust it here too, like that. Okay. All right, and then last thing is going to be my hi-hat stand, and this is important. Where you place this is important. So remember what I was saying earlier about fine tuning. This is where it begins. So pull my floor tom over. You want to sit at the drums naturally. Don't go out all wide. Don't be on an angle. That's another thing I see a lot of drummers doing. They put their hi-hat over here. They put their snare over here. They're angled. And then it's an effort to get to the other cymbals and the other side of the drum kit. So make sure you're sitting forward. Don't angle your hat off to the side. I see that so many times when I go over to my students' houses. Now I'm sitting perfectly in front of the drums, perfectly aligned, easy access to everything. Now this is the fine tuning. That cymbal's a little off. So's this one. We just move it a little closer and we're good to go. There we go. So that, ladies and gentlemen, parents, that is how you set up a drum kit. Now you just have fun and play. Thanks for joining me, Tim Connolly Drums. Lots and lots of new material coming. I'm going to be doing my lessons hopefully soon. I do have some pad stuff that I've done, and I'm going to put a few more out. Please like and subscribe, comment, tell me if you have any ideas for future drum videos that you'd like to see, and ask any questions about this video or anything drum related. Take care, see ya, keep drumming.